let's just get one thing straight. I do not have a fear of heights." Frank had been looking at me out of the corner of his eye, going totally older brother on me the whole flight because my knuckles had been white on the armrests since we took off. But what did he expect? It was windy. There was ocean everywhere, and a ton of the flight involved going over Canada, which meant if we went down, it was straight into the wilderness. I didn't think being a little nervous was unreasonable. The second we landed, I jumped up, nearly hitting my head on the luggage compartment above us. "Settle down, Joe," said Frank. "You settle down." My heart was pounding in my chest. Not because I was afraid of heights, remember, just because I was a guy who liked to take precautions. Or something. I glanced out the window at the airfield, reminding myself that we were flat on the ground, and exhaled. "Sorry," I mumbled. "It's okay," said my brother. He looked completely fine. I mean, utterly unconcerned by totally possible risks. We waited in the plane for what felt like forever, until finally it was time for those of us near the back to deplane. Frank and I got our bags and shuffled through the little aisle. I about whacked an old lady in the face with my duffel bag, and had to double back to make sure she was all right. She was. I hadn't clipped her, thankfully. Frank strode ahead of me on the jetway, and we waited for our parents to meet us, then, together, made our way into the Anchorage, Alaska airport. It was small, not that crowded, nothing like the airports back east. "Whoa," I said. "Would you look at that?" Inside a huge plexiglass case in front of us was the biggest bear I had ever seen. He was taxidermized, brown and bushy, standing on his hind legs, his massive paws and Wolverine-style claws out, frozen mid-roar. "You know," said Dad, coming up behind us and about making me jump out of my skin, "that bear's the biggest grizzly ever taken in the United States." "Really?" said Frank. "Yep. I read up on it last time we came through. They say when he was found, he had the remains of 2 people in his belly." "A man-eater," I whispered reverently. Suddenly the bear seemed even bigger, and the plexiglass case felt thinner. It wasn't fear I was feeling, not exactly, just awe. Not my usual reaction in an airport, unless there's a Caribou Coffee selling pastries near the gate. "You know that's a tall tale as well as I do, Fenton Hardy." We all turned around to find Ed Adenshaw behind us, smiling big and wide. My dad's face split nearly in half with the force of his matching grin, and my mom started to bounce on her feet. Frank and I had known the Adenshaws and their daughter since we were little, and our parents had known them a lot longer than that. Mom and Ed's wife, Jacqueline, had gone to school together. The rest was history, or so they liked to remind us every time they were together, which wasn't often. Alaska and Bayport weren't exactly close together. Ed had always seemed a little larger than life to us as kids, mostly because he was. He told stories like no one else did, and laughed longer, ate more, sang louder, and danced harder. He did everything big. He was broad-shouldered and had short, sharply cut black hair, bronzed skin, and eyes that crinkled when he smiled. He had an energy about him that made me want to stand a little straighter, be a little more impressive, too. "A tall tale?" Dad replied. "No way." "Sure it is. That bear is 200 pounds under the record for a taken grizzly." "And its supposed victims?" asked Frank, eyeing the bear warily. "Not true." Ed hoisted one of my mom's bags up on one of his shoulders, and one of my dad's on the other. "Grizzlies look big and bad, but all those teeth and claws are for eating berries and fish, but almost never people, not unless they're starving. That guy look like he was starving to you?" He did not. "I knew there weren't man-eating bears in Alaska." Ed gave me a wink. "I didn't say that." I raised my eyebrows at Frank, and we made our way out of the airport. This was going to be one wild spring break.